Hello and welcome to the Premier Epos unpacking of the PartnerTech SP1060. Till installation is rather easy for this one. Underneath, if you just tilt it up, you will see two screws. These are part of the cable management system. If you just get a Phillips screwdriver, unscrew the first screw and go on to the second one. With this particular design, you do not have to completely unscrew it. Just slightly loosen it just to try and get the actual plastic shield away. Eventually, it comes loose. And underneath you see all the ports. First port on the far right is an external power, generally used for the secondary display. The power for the actual till itself. The cash drawer connection. A HDMI connection. 4 USB connections. You also have 2 LAN ports, 2 COM ports, and 2 old-style serial COM ports. A line out for audio, 2 extra USB ports, and a VGA port as well for monitors. If you turn the till round, you'll see there are 2 thumb screws near the bottom. Simply unscrew these with your fingers and this will release a panel again for the cable management system. That just pops off. Place that to one side. As you can see, there are various holes for cables to feed through. First thing we'll plug in is the actual power supply for the till itself. It is a standard kettle lead and power brick configuration. Kettle lead goes into the power brick. Then you can go ahead and plug it directly into the mains. Then simply feed the power cable through the top hole. Once you've fed it through, you can then go ahead and plug it into the actual till itself. As you can see, there are 4 pins indicating the power cable. Same colour as well, green. This only plugs in one way, do not force it. Next, we shall move on to the printer itself. Again, very similar configuration for the power. A standard kettle lead and power brick configuration. Once the kettle lead is plugged in, go ahead and plug it in directly into your mains. Underneath the printer itself, you have the USB connection port, the power port, the Ethernet connection port, the serial connection, and you also have a cash drawer connection port. We can go ahead and plug it in. Again, only plugs in one way, do not force it. Next is the USB connection. As you can see, 1 square end and 1 rectangular end. The square end plugs directly into the printer itself. Again, only plugs in one way. Slots in like so. Now take the USB end, the rectangular end, again feed it through the hole in the back of the till itself. This is the keyboard. Again, same connection as the printer itself, a standard USB connection. We can go ahead and feed that through the hole as well. Moving on to the mouse. Again, another standard USB connection. Again, thread through the hole. Next, I can show you how to assemble the barcode scanner. This is the base for the barcode scanner itself. This is the actual cradle and the cradle arm. They connect together by the big screw supplied. Screw in like so. Once screwed in, you can then slide the device in. As you can see, it only slides in one way, so flip it round and then it should be flush along the metal base. Barcode scanner sits directly onto the cradle and we can thread through the USB. Also, not forgetting, we also need a Ethernet cable to be plugged into the till for your internet access. These typically are plugged from your router. Again, thread that through the hole. We can now try and tidy up the cables and make sure they all fit through the little groove at the bottom. We can take the back plate again and slot in, making sure not to snag any of the cables on the bottom part of the base. As you can see, all the cables should feed through the bottom holes. Once securely placed in, you can then use the thumb screws and screw the back panel straight back on. Once the screws are in place, we can now flip the till over and start plugging in the connections that we've fed through the hole previously. All the USB connections and Ethernet connection have various ports. Plug the Ethernet connection straight into LAN 1 or LAN 2, it makes no difference. Plug all the USB connections into any of the USB ports. Again, any port doesn't make a difference. Once you've tied up the cables, you can screw the panel back on with the Phillips screwdriver. As you can see, all the cables are nicely tucked in behind that back panel. On switch is right there, just on the far right. One click, and as you can see, the till has now booted up, ready for use. I do thank you for your time. I truly hope this video has been informative. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.